In the previous lecture, I have discussed about electrical synapses along with chemical synapses and their receptors. So now in this video, I am going to discuss about the transmission that is occur into the chemical synapses. Hello friends, welcome to Biology Concern. I am Animesh. So let's jump into the topic. First of all, whenever an action potential is generated into a neuron, it passes along with the axons, and whenever these action potentials are arrived at the axon terminal, so in this case the action potential arrives at the axon terminal, then the calcium channels are opens. Okay, so the calcium channels opens, and it helps to diffuse calcium from outside of the cell or outside of the neuron to the inside of the neuron. Whenever these calciums are abundant in the inside of the neuron, then those calcium helps to create the synaptic vesicles. So these are the synaptic vesicles. So whenever these synaptic vesicles are generated, the neurotransmitter are within these synaptic vesicles. So neurotransmitter like acetylcholine, epinephrine, norepinephrine, dopamine, serotonin, etc. So these kind of neurotransmitters generated within the synaptic vesicles, and calcium helps these synaptic vesicles to fuse with the plasma membrane of this particular neuron. So whenever these synaptic vesicles are fused with the plasma membrane of the synaptic vesicle, then the release of the neurotransmitter occurs, and the release of the neurotransmitter helps the neurotransmitter to reach into the synaptic cleft where postsynaptic neuron is present, and the postsynaptic neuron along with the receptor within it presents. So these receptors are present within the postsynaptic neurons, and the postsynaptic neuron and synaptic cleft helps this neurotransmitter to binds with this particular receptors. So these receptors either ionotropic or metabotropic. So in my previous video, I already discussed about ionotropic receptors and metabotropic receptors. So whenever these neurotransmitters are into the synaptic cleft, they are bind with these particular receptors, and these receptors help generate the stimulus, and it passes the signal from this receptor to inside of the cell, and where an electrical signal can be generated. So electrical signal generated. Okay, electrical signal is generated. So basically electrical signal comes along with first neuron. So this is the first neuron, comes along with the axon of the first neuron. It converted into the chemical signal. In the synaptic cleft, and again it convert into the electrical signal in the postsynaptic neuron. So these are the steps of transmission of chemical synapse. So basically action potential arrives at the axon terminal, voltage gated calcium channels open, calcium enters into the cell, calcium dependent fusion of the synaptic vesicle with the membrane. Now synaptic vesicle releases neurotransmitter into the synaptic cleft. Now neurotransmitter diffuses across the synaptic cleft and binds to the receptor present at the postsynaptic neuron, and lastly binding of this neurotransmitter to the receptor generates the postsynaptic potential, and that creates an electrical signal from the chemical signal present in the synaptic cleft. So this is the video of transmission at chemical synapse. So if you like that video, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching.